Hey, I am back with a keynote speech that I recently did. This was for a group of Toastmasters. It was for their club officer training, and you may or may not know, each club has their executive. So their president, secretary, treasurer, VP of Ed, so on and so on and so on. And so this group was getting together in order to get the training on how to do the role and in order to prepare for the new leadership year. I was asked to do a keynote, and I thought really long and hard on what I would share with the group. And I started to look at the things that we don't talk about in Toastmasters. Yes, we prepare for speaking, for leading, but there are things that happen as you grow, that personal growth in real time that we don't always see until we're looking back on our experience. And I wanted to share that with the group. I decided to title my speech Turning Club Roles into Real Life Impact. Unfortunately, I don't get to share with you the amazing introduction that I got, along with the comments afterward, which were just, I was, my heart was full that day and still full thinking back on the experience. So let's jump into the speech and, feel free to share in the comments how you feel about it. Turning club roles into real world impact. Let me start with a secret. The Toastmasters Club officer role you've just agreed to is not really about your club. It's actually about who you're about to become. I'm going to let that sit. Because today, as you step into your new year of leadership, you may be thinking about the agendas, emails, officer training, attendance reporting, membership check-ins, all of the things that come with being an officer. But here's the truth. The officer roles are not simply duties on a checklist. They're doorways. Doorways to confidence, doorways to opportunity, and doorways to transformation. The club officer role is not just a responsibility. It's an identity shift. It's leadership training. It's the transformative yes to your next level. As John Maxwell famously said, leaders are not about titles, positions, or flowcharts. It's about one life influencing another. And that's exactly what the Toastmasters officer roles teach us. Madam Chair, distinguished guests, and fellow Toastmasters, good morning. It is truly an honor to be here with leaders, people who have said yes to service, yes to growth, yes to stepping forward even when you felt unsure. In her book, The Year of Yes, Chandra Rhimes talks about saying yes to the things that stretch us, challenge us, and sometimes scare us to death. And looking back, I realized that every single one of my Toastmasters officer roles was exactly that: a stretch, a challenge, a yes that shaped my leadership journey. Today, I want to share with you the real impact of these roles, not the descriptions in the club leadership handbook, not the checklist items, but the deep transformation that happens behind the scenes. And I want to break it down in three major ways your officer role reshapes your life. One, skills expansion, building abilities that you didn't know you had. Two, confidence building, finding your voice in service and leadership. And three, leadership beyond the club, how the roles follow you into the real world. My leadership journey didn't begin with a grand title. It began with a small but mighty role, Sergeant at Arms. It's funny how often leadership hides inside of roles that look simple from the outside. Open the room, set up the meeting. But that role taught me discipline. It taught me structure. It taught me the importance of consistency and reliability. And most importantly, it taught me that leadership doesn't always start at the front of the room. Sometimes leadership begins quietly in the setup, in the preparation, and in creating an environment that allows others to shine. Those are the foundations to leadership. When I served as the vice president, public relations, the role changed me in ways I didn't expect. VP of PR taught me how to tell the story of my club, represent team with pride, build visibility, celebrate the achievements of others, communicate clearly, consistently, and creatively, speak on behalf of a group confidently and publicly. I had to learn how to write announcements, create posts, highlight members, promote the club in a way that captured the heart of our club. The role taught me visibility with purpose and how to communicate to invite, inspire, and include. It also taught me something deeper. Your voice carries weight, and people listen. That was a turning point for my personal leadership. The VP of PR was where I learned to speak with intention, to choose the right words, to share messages that mattered, and to step out from behind and say, here is who we are and why it matters. When you communicate well, you lead well. And VP of PR is one of the greatest training grounds for that. Then came club president. Twice. And here's the truth. I didn't feel ready. But the magic of Toastmasters, it stretches you, it challenges you, it gives you opportunities that help you grow into the leader you didn't know you could become. As the president, I learned team management, constructive communication, running effective meetings, planning and delegation, conflict resolution, goal setting and tracking, and problem solving under pressure. These aren't club skills. These are career skills. These are leadership skills. Every club officer role builds real skills that you can use anywhere. VP of membership, enrollment, persuasion, customer service. VP of education, coaching, scheduling, mentorship. VP of PR, branding, writing, content creation, marketing. Treasurer, budgeting, financial literacy. Secretary, organization and communication. Sergeant at arms, logistics, time management, reliability. Toastmasters is one of the few places where you can learn all of this in a safe, supported space before the stakes get high. That's skill expansion. And the first doorway. Let's be honest. Every club officer has a moment, a private moment where the role feels bigger than you. Maybe you wonder if you'll do it right. Maybe you wonder if you'll let the club down. Maybe you wonder if people will listen to you. Maybe you're still learning to believe in your own voice. I have had every one of those doubts. But something special happens when you serve your club. Your confidence grows in layers. I didn't magically become confident when I stepped into these roles, but slowly, quietly, consistently, the confidence built itself. And before I knew it, the woman who was once hesitated was suddenly leading meetings, guiding others, navigating challenges, and stepping into leadership with ease. Oprah Winfrey has said, doing the best at this moment puts you in the best place for the next moment. And that's exactly what happened for me. The confidence that I built in Toastmasters didn't stay in the club. It followed me when I changed industries. It followed me when I stepped into a senior role at a new brokerage. It followed me when I began moderating industry events and speaking at conferences. It followed me in my career, in my creative life, my collaborations, and my speaking work. Officer roles build confidence that you carry with you forever. That is the second doorway. As Brene Brown reminds us, courage starts with showing up and letting others be seen. Every time you show up for your club, you show up for yourself. Every time you serve, you grow. Every time you lead, you become. Toastmasters is confidence training, but it's in a gentle and supportive way. When I stepped into the role of area director, everything clicked. I realized Toastmasters wasn't just giving me leadership skills. It was preparing me for leadership everywhere. I found myself drawing on the skills that I learned as an officer, navigating personalities, leading teams, managing conflict, running events, guiding people with different communication styles, encouraging and empowering others, speaking with clarity and purpose. And that ripple didn't stop with me. I have never met a Toastmaster who served as a club officer and didn't grow outside of the club. I've seen people get promotions, start businesses, take on new leadership roles at work, speak more confidently in meetings, strengthen their personal relationships, become better parents, partners, mentors, and communicators. Because club officers are not volunteer tasks. They're leadership incubators. They shape who you are becoming outside the walls of Toastmasters. There's a reason why Nelson Mandela said, "It seems impossible until it's done." Everything you learn in Toastmasters, every skill, every challenge, every success builds you into someone who can do things you once thought were impossible. And that is the third door. And as we step into our officer journeys for this year, remember this. You are not just helping your club run smoothly. You are building your future self. You are strengthening your voice. You're unlocking your next chapter. Every meeting you lead, every agenda you plan, every member you support, every challenge you navigate, all of it is shaping the leader you are becoming. Your Toastmasters Club role is your yes. Yes to growth. Yes to leadership. Yes to becoming the strongest, most confident version of yourself. And when you embrace it boldly, you don't just impact your club. You impact your workplace, your community, your family, and your future. So let's turn these club officer roles into real world impact together. Thank you. Well, there it is. That was my Toastmasters keynote. I delivered this on November the 25th, 2025. And I'm telling you, the comments blew up on that Zoom meeting, and I read some of them, and I was just so moved by the amount of people who were touched by this keynote. So now I'm asking you, if you were touched, please share your thoughts in the comments. And that's it for now. I'll see you in the next video. Walk good.